morning. Welcome back to yet another section of Ways with Words. In our last class, we went through Gabriel Okara in detail. I think all of you remembered well the details of Gabriel Okara. Gabriel Okara is an African poet and novelist who was born in 1921 in Nigeria. His parents were not rich. His poems appeared regularly in the magazine called Black or Fierce. Let us get into the poem. Before we get into that, let me tell you something. In this poem, the poet Gabriel Okara focuses on the cultural change in Africa that was affected by Western culture. He says that people in the past were genuine and honest. They are hypocritical now. They are dishonest now. So the poet wants to return to the good earlier times or earlier state by being a child. Again, it is not possible, but he wishes he were a child again to become good. Let us get into the poem now. All of you please take the page number 44 in your textbook. Once upon a time. First stanza. Let me recite for you. Once upon a time, son, they used to laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes. But now they only laugh with their teeth, while their eyes block cold eyes. Search behind my shadow. If you look at this carefully, you observe that sun is addressed here by the poet. So we understand the poem, at least this stanza or the whole poem is conversation in the form of a poem between a father and a son. So the father addressed his son. Let us see what he is saying here. Here, at the very beginning of the first stanza, we have once upon a time. This once upon a time is a phrase used especially in fairy tale. Fairy tales are not real. So, the things that we hear and read in fairy tales are not real. So, the poet feels that it is not really possible to get back to the old days. People were really honest and genuine. Once upon a time suggests things now are different from earlier times. The words used to laugh with hearts and eyes suggest sincerity and frankness, that is wholeheartedness. But now the people in present are not genuine or sincere. The words laugh with their teeth suggests hypocritical nature of present people. Eyes block cold eyes. It means that do not have any emotion. The people do not have any feelings. They don't have any expression at all. Something behind someone's shadow, meaning interacting with someone's unreal and fake sides, so that there is no need of interacting with the real person. That is what is happening in the society now. According to Gabriel Okara, the people are trying to fake everything. They are trying to be artificial. Everything. They do not want to deal with the real side of a person. That's why they look at the shadow, which is easy for them, so that they can avoid the real person and deal with the unreal thing, that is shadow. In the first stanza, the author mentions that people used to laugh with their heart. They used to laugh with their emotions. When they would laugh, they would do it wholeheartedly and with warmth. And they used to laugh with their eyes and show pleasure with them. And no, they do it with only their teeth, not with their heart. Meaning, they do not really want to laugh, but do it just to get closer to you and with their darky, gloomy, cold eyes. They watch you and wait for you from the corner of their eyes. Waiting for you to leave, search behind my shadow. We can also give another meaning for this search behind my shadow. Here they refer to the white people who had invaded their country and influenced them with their culture. I think all of you remembered well. We already talked about the influences of Western culture in the previous class in detail. In this stanza, the words ice block called ice is used. These words emphasizes the coldness and the inner hatred they have for you, like they can freeze water with their gaze. I already told you it means the people do not have emotions. They don't have emotions or feelings at all. These also make the poem feel a bit dark and cold and a slight bit sinister. We can also see here the figure of speech metaphor. Okay, I think all of you understood the first stanza. We can move to the second stanza. There was a time indeed. They used to shake hands with their hearts, but that's gone, son. Now they shake hands without hearts, while their left hands search my empty pockets. We understand that the poet wants to focus on something. There was a time especially mention it. There was a time. The poet uses the words hearts and eyes to refer to emotions, because hearts and eyes refer to emotions, while their left hand search my empty pockets. The poet feels that he has been stripped of real happiness. Stripped off means remove something from somebody. Here we can see that he already removed his good behavior from his character. He has been stripped of real happiness. Here we can see that he already lost his real happiness from his life. He has lost sincerity and warmth that he had long time ago. So he already understood. He had the sincerity, he had the warmth feeling, but now he already stripped off all his good habits, good behavior. So, in the second stanza, he further talks about the personalities of the people of the past. He says they used to shake with their hearts. Here he is trying to say that when you would meet each other, you will shake their hands with pleasure and with warmth and do it willingly. While their left hands search my empty pockets. From this, we can see that they are trying to use him to get to his money or receive something from him. This also shows that the people's personalities are not real and true. So once again, I remind you, from this second stanza, we can understand people already changed in the case of their culture. They are imitating the Western culture. That's why they already lost their tradition and culture. We can't see the sincerity and warmth feeling in them. We can move to the third stanza. Feel at home. Come again, they say. And when I come again and feel at home once, twice, there will be no thrice. For then I find doors shut on me. We can discuss the paraphrase. Look at this feel at home. Here, at home, it's an idiom, means comfortable and relaxed. When we look at the word feel at home, means be comfortable and relaxed. When we go to somebody's house, they say feel at home. It means they are asking us to be comfortable and relaxed. Think that you are in your own house. They do that for a formality. When we go to anyone's house, now they say feel at home, and when we leave, they say come again. We actually take that in literal way, in a real sense, and we think that they are really serious about it. We think that they are really asking us to go there to their home again and again. That's why we go there again and we feel comfortable and relaxed. Once, twice, it's okay. And when we go there at the third time, there will be no thrice. It means no third time. They don't welcome us the third time. It means people don't welcome us if when we visit often. They say so in order to be formal, polite. In the third stanza, he is talking about when people ask you to come again and say feel at home. You go there once, twice, and third time, they will not let you in, thinking that you are a guest and that they do not want to see you anymore. The words feel at home is used for when you want a guest to feel welcomed and that they belong in that household. Here he mentions that I find welcomed and that they belong in that household. Here he mentions that I find the doors shut on me. This shows that they do not even open the door to tell him that he is not wanted and the moment but instead leaves the door closed, keeping him standing outside. This also shows that when people speak, they lie, not telling the truth, but just saying something nice to grasp their heart. So we can see that again these lines proved that African people, they already lost their culture. They are imitating the Western culture. That's why they are very formal. They became insincere. They are hypocritical. Then we can move to the stanza 4. So I have learned many things, son. I have learned to wear many faces like dresses. Home face, office face, street face, host face, cocktail face, with all their conforming smiles. Like a fixed portrait smile. We can go to the paraphrase. The poet said, I have learned to wear many faces. Wear many faces means behave according to the situation. He has learned to behave depending on the situation. It means he has learned to change his behavior according to the situation. To suit any situation. What has he learned? What kind of dresses is he wearing? Or what kind of faces is he wearing? What kind of face is he wearing? Here he changes his faces just like dresses. It's very common to change our dresses like that. People already learn to change their behavior according to the situation. So I told you, like dresses, the poet says he is changing his behavior according to the situation. He already spoke about different faces. I think if you remembered well, home face, host face, street face, cocktail face. Then what about home face? Home face, when he is at home, he behaves in a way with his own people. That's what we call home face. Actually, I think we are very real in our home. Am I right? Okay. Office face. When the poet is in office, he has to change his behavior because there are many people around him, like his boss and his colleagues. He has to behave differently with each of them. He has learned to wear street face. Street face, when he goes on the street, he meets many people. He has to fake on his behavior. He cannot speak the truth because people do not like truth. So definitely he is acting in front of them. So he is ready to change his face as a street face when he is walking in the street. Then host face. When you have guests at home, you become host. If you are a man, you are host. If you are a woman, you are hostess. If you have a guest, we have to change the behavior according to the situation. If you like it or if you don't like it, it doesn't matter. You should behave well. Then I want to speak about a cocktail phase. Look at this cocktail. It's a formal social occasion, usually in the early evening when people drink cocktails or other alcoholic drinks. So, cocktail is the mixture of different alcoholic drinks. People come and then they drink and they listen to what the host who invited them says. In a cocktail party, whether you like it or not, you always have to have a smiling face. There is no doubt about it. When the people come to a cocktail party, they always have the smiling face. They are not real. The poet has learned the cocktail face. When we go to a cocktail party, we have a fixed portrait smile. Then what is portrait? Portrait means a painting, drawing or photograph of a person, especially of the head and shoulders. The smile in a portrait, in a picture, does not change. People in cocktail party do not change their smiling faces. They keep showing their smiling faces even though that's not real. In the fourth stanza, he talks about how he has learned to put on faces, like how outfits and masks are put on at different times. And with different people, you act differently. For example, in the office, you act in one way to a person, but when you meet them on the street, you act another way to them. And how all the faces that people have on different occasions. He says, I have learned too, which is suggesting that he has also changed with the change of the people around him. He also mentions with all their conforming smiles like a fixed portrait. Here conforming means here it treat as a good behavior. So people already trained well to imitate the fake behavior. So it is suggesting that they all have the same smile all the time, not showing any true emotion. Then we can move to the stanza 5. I have also learned to say goodbye when I mean good riddance. To say glad to meet you without being glad. And to say it has been nice talking to you after being bored. So we can move to the paraphrase. He has learned to behave in an artificial way. Here, good riddance. Have you noticed the word good riddance? Good riddance means a rude way of saying you are glad someone has left. Why you are happy when someone left? You are happy because that person who has stayed up to now has troubled you or has irritated you or has annoyed you with something. You are relieved because a person has left now. You say good riddance. The poet has learned to say goodbye when he actually has to say good riddance. And he has learned to say glad to meet you. Glad means happy. Now we say glad to meet you or happy to meet you. When we meet someone, we are really happy. The poet has learned to say glad to meet you even when he is not glad. And he has also learned to say it has been nice talking to you after actually getting bored. That's why the poet says that he learned fake things. In fifth stanza, he says that he has also been influenced by the people around him and he has learned to keep his true personality as a secret and show the world a fake personality. To laugh with only me teeth. This part is connected with the part in the first stanza. They only laugh with their teeth. From this you can see a comparison of what people do and what he does now. This also shows that he has changed to blend in with the environment. Here in the part where he says, I have also learned to say goodbye when I mean good riddance, that is pointing out to the fact that they will, without thinking and without meaning it, they will say goodbye. He mentions forward that glad to meet you, meaning that he is happy to see you and is happy with your presence without being glad, meaning that he did not want to talk to you and they dislike your presence, and if they could they would have avoided you, and it has been nice talking to you after being bored, saying that they say things that they do not mean. We can move to the sixth stanza. But believe me, son, I want to be what I used to be. When I was like you, I want to unlearn all these things, muting things. Most of all, I want to relearn how to laugh, for my laugh in the mirror shows only my teeth like a snake's bare fangs. Here, unlearn means to deliberately forget something that you have learned, especially something bad or wrong. The poet learned to fake things. The poet learned hypocrisy. The poet learned artificial ways of behaving. He wants to unlearn all the things now. Unlearn means to forget all these things, muting things, things that are changing of the time. The poet has learned to mute his real feelings. The poet goes to the mirror and looks at himself in it. He sees only his teeth. There is no real, genuine happiness, no warmth in it. All are fake. Here, the poet has used a very strong metaphor by the word like a snake bare fangs. A snake is commonly used in mythology and fairy tales to describe evil, insincerity, and dishonesty. This suggests that when he laughs, you see his teeth and smile, but his intentions are also insincere and dishonest. That means he is not genuine. In this stanza, he wants to be like he used to be, when he was like a child, so small and innocent. He points out that he really wants to learn how to laugh with emotions like you really mean it. And he compares his laugh like that of a snake's fangs that shows only the teeth. Snakes are those menacing creatures that are full of venom and can never be trusted, and to compare his laugh with a snake gives the image that the man really does not like his fake personality. This stanza sums it well by giving the image to the reader that he is not happy and satisfied with himself. He already identified himself, he is not genuine. His behavior is fake. So he wanted to relearn all the muted things from his own child. Then we can move to the last stanza. So, show me, son, how to laugh. Show me how I used to laugh and smile once upon a time when I was like you. We can go through the paraphrase. He asks his son to show him how to laugh. He expresses his desire to laugh wholeheartedly again, and he wants to be like a child again, so that he can get back his original or natural behavior. So the poet concludes it all saying that he does not like what has become and he wants to be like he used to be when he was like a child, so small and innocent. He points out that he really wants to learn how to laugh with. In this last stanza, father is asking and pleading to his son to show him how to laugh and smile like he did when he was a child. The last line sums up the entire poem really well, making sure that all strings are tied. So here the poet ends the poem with a hope. He is very optimistic. He thinks that he can relearn all the muted things with the help of his son. And he also reminds us childhood. It is the precious time in each and everyone's life. So he is very optimistic. The structure of the poem is really good and most of the stanzas have 6 lines in them. It is a very nice poem with a nice smooth flow. I think all of you understood the poem. So please go through the poem very well. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.